thefloridastar.com, thefloridastar.com. Once again, the Florida Star newspaper has over 30,000 subscribers between South Georgia and North Florida. Over 30,000 subscribers. This is one way that you can promote your product, promote your service, promote your business, promote your event, promote your church, youth group. So once again, do business with one of the oldest Black-owned newspapers in the South, thefloridastar.com. This is your host, Nashon Nicks. We got an awesome show in store for you. I'm going to go around the room to let my guests introduce themselves. Now, we're going to start off with Miss Julia Jackson. If you can, please just tell our listening and viewing audience who you are, what you do, and we're going to continue to go around the room.
Hello, how are you guys? My name is Julia Jackson. I work with the Department of Defense, but I just wrote a book. It's called The Little King. You want me to keep going? Like telling everything?
The Little King is all we need right now, because we're going to dive in on that in just a little bit.
I'm excited. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, you ain't got to apologize for being excited. One of the biggest things, y'all see the book, shameless plug. Y'all see it? Shameless plug. All right, I'm done. I'm going to go over to Ms. Vanessa. Please introduce yourself to the listener and viewing audience. Ms. Vanessa, take your time.
Of course. The unmute button is my nemesis. Hi, everyone. My name is Vanessa. I'm a contributing writing with the Florida Star. If you got any upcoming stories or anything interesting going in town, feel free to reach out to me. I'm all over town. I was at the Emancipation Day today, and
how did that go?
It was really nice. It was really nice. Jacoby was out there having a good time. It was a great celebration. So just hit me up, guys.
Awesome, awesome. And I'm passing the mic over to my brother and friend, Mr. Michael Sampson. How you feeling on tonight?
I'm doing good. My name is Michael Sampson. I'm the executive director of the Jacksonville Community Action Committee. We're a local grassroots Black-led organization trying to organize for police accountability and broader equity in the city of Jacksonville. We've been in existence since 2017. So happy you was able to have me on today.
Yes, and we're excited to have you with us. Just speaking of police accountability, and I like to share with folks, I'm not anti-police. I'm pro-accountability. I believe we need police officers, just like we need firefighters, just like we need educators. But there has to be shared accountability all the way around. And like I said, I think sometimes even when it comes to police officers, they get a bad rap. And unfortunately, you're looking at a very, very minute percentage of police officers that cause 99% of the issues. And like I said, unfortunately, if we don't have shared accountability, there's no way we're going to see true change. And I thank you and your organization for what they do, Mr. Sampson. You have an event coming up this weekend. Can you please take a moment to tell our listening and viewing audience about this event that you have coming up this Saturday?
Awesome. I really appreciate it. So this Saturday from 3 to 6 p.m. at A. Phillip Randolph Park at 1096 A. Phillip Randolph Park. We're going to be having Red Day. It's a day to remember the life of Vernell Lil Red Bing. He was actually gunned down a few years ago by a JSO sheriff's officer, and his family hasn't been able to get justice. So, you know, we're going to have music, food, we're going to have a DJ, giveaways, really just trying to be out there in the neighborhoods, you know, trying to like showcase, you know, remember Vernell Bing's life, you know, because sometimes often, you know, when people are killed by the police, they're not remembered in the best light. We want to remember the good things and also demand justice. And we'll also be joined there by the family of a lot of local police crime shootings. The family of Kwame Jones will be there, Jamie Johnson, Reginald Boston, and a few others whose loved one was taken from them by a JSO police officer, and to this day is still demanding justice. I mean, that's kind of where our movement is based in, with the families, with the ones most affected, who have the stories to tell. And those personal stories is what we build our movement off of, you know, the change in policy and demanding justice and accountability, and trying to do what we can to fix systemic issues. So this Saturday, A-Phil at Randolph Park from 3 to 6, food, DJ, come out, celebrate with the families, and remember the loss of all our loved ones. So I really appreciate the opportunity for me to showcase that event, and hopefully y'all can join us on Saturday as well.
Now, can you call out your handlers pertaining to social media, just in case somebody didn't catch everything, but they get this right here? How do they follow your organization?
Yes, on Facebook, you can find us on Facebook page, Jacksonville Community Action Committee, on Instagram and Twitter at Jax Takes Action, but as well our website, jaxtakesaction.org, to learn more about us and the policy initiatives that we're really trying to push through in regards to this city. So I really appreciate y'all, and I really appreciate the time tonight.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Mr. Sampson. And once again, everybody, y'all get out there this Saturday and support this event. And now I'm going to turn it over to Miss Julia Jackson, the author of the book, The Little King. Tell us about The Little King.
All right, my turn now.
Here you go.
First, I want to say thank you for having me on, and I really wish I was there to support his organization. But I'm all the way in Key West, so unfortunately I can't be there, but I really wish I was. So the book, The Little King, is based on my son Jordan, who's 18 now. When he was about 6 years old, we were stationed in Idaho, and there weren't a lot of Black people there. So he basically couldn't find friends, and he was told that he couldn't play with certain people. I never thought about putting this into words or writing it down, but when COVID hit, I kind of was losing my mind, as probably everybody else was. And God just told me to write. That's always been an outlet for me. So I literally picked up a pen and I wrote it. The title is basically because I've always saw my son as, a little young Black king, as we often see our children. And I always wanted the best for him. So that's where the title came from. And like I said, the motivation was really just to keep my sanity during COVID, but also to give something to him, because he's about to graduate from high school next week. So it kind of was for my baby, who's not a baby anymore. So that's kind of where that came from. My favorite part about the book is toward the end, when the little king felt like all hope was gone and he couldn't find friends, is kind of when God gave him exactly what he needed. And I wrote my character, even though it's based on my son, I wrote it about my life in a way, because that's always how God has been to me. The times where I felt like God, where are you, is the times when he just comes through and shows out, and it's so glorious and so amazing. And I'm sorry, I hear my babies in the background, but so
It's
that's
okay.
kind of why
We love babies.
Oh man,
Nashon, it's not kids. Keep going.
Look, you want them, because listen. But yeah, so that's
basically a lot of kids too. Keep going.
Oh, so that's the background of everything with the book. That's my motivation, and like I said, that was my favorite part of the book. The book is available on Amazon, Barnes and Noble, Target, and betterworldbooks.com. Hashtag The Little King. I have to put that in there. What'd you say is a shameless plug?
You better believe it.
Hey,
yes.
There you go.
And now, once again, I want folks to be able to find you. I want them to be able to support you. I want them to be able to support the Little King. Listen, Miss Julia Jackson was at the First Coast Leadership Foundation on yesterday. We had close to 25 children, Black children, excited to meet a Black author. Excited to meet a Black author that can kind of share the narrative according to how they see themselves, and sometimes how society sees them. But at the end of the day, our children are royalty.
Amen.
Our children are royalty. And I believe that one of the reasons why we have such a dysfunction pertaining to systemic issues in Black communities is because when we look at identity, sometimes we forget to mention that royal aspect. So thank you for illustrating, writing this narrative for all of our young people, and tell them how to find this book one more time.
Amazon, Target, Barnes and Noble, and betterworldbooks.com. Now, and also
keep going.
Oh, I was just gonna say that if you go on Barnes and Noble or Target one day, and if you don't see the book there, don't be alarmed. It's always on Amazon. But I was told by the one of the publishing or the distribution companies that until the book finds its place, sometimes it may appear and not appear, but it'll come right back. So don't be, I literally check it every day. I've been checking it like crazy to make sure it's not like gone. So, but the one place is very consistent right now has been Amazon. And that's the Kindle book, the paperback and a hardcover. And Target has been pretty consistent, but Barnes and Noble, it'll appear and then like 15 minutes later it's gone, but then it comes right back. And she said that that's normal because I self-published and all that stuff. So that's just the red tape, but nothing to be alarmed about. It's there. It's there. It's there. It's there.
Now, and once again, Amazon, Target, where else?
Barnes and Noble.
And what do they have to put in there? What do they have to type in order to order the book?
Oh, you could just put in The Little King, or you can look up Julia Jackson, or you can just do a Google search and it'll tell you the different, because it's also some little tiny bookstores that's picking it up now too. So you can do a Google search and put in The Little King or The Little King by Julia Jackson. You may see it Julia J. Jackson, not to be confused with Julia A. Jackson, because she's somebody different. So Julia J. Jackson, Julia J. Jackson,
We're
The
gonna
Little
set the
King.
record straight right now.
Hey, I'm gonna say it like 10 more
Yes. All right. Well, thank you so much, Ms. Jackson, for gracing us with your presence and your book for our youth. Were you able to share one line that really stuck out to you, that one of your favorite lines from the book?
No, because I just shared the favorite part. And like I said, that's the part that speaks to me. Yeah, that's the part that speaks to me most. And like I told a lot of the kids yesterday, don't ever, ever, ever let anyone put you or God in a box. Don't let anyone tell you what you can't do. Don't let anyone tell you you're not beautiful, you're not good enough. But okay, see, now I'm about to start preaching to you. But always, always, always. And that's why it's my favorite part, because God will show out. He will do wonders when you least expect it. When you give up hope, he will be there. Yes. Lord have mercy. Come on now. All right, Pastor Nix.
All right. Yes, but listen, right? If you want to hang out with us, Julia, I'll give you another chance to put a plug in at the end of the show. But I have a guest in the booth. He has one of the most recognizable voices in the city of Jacksonville. When we say front line activism and accountability, I'm going to let him, don't say your name, but just say something. I want to see if Vanessa can pick it up. Vanessa, just listen to this voice. Listen to this voice.
What about the voice of the people?
Oh my goodness, the Honorable Mr. Ben Fraser. How you doing?
How are you? How are you?
Yes. And now listen, we're going to take a break. You're listening to Impact Radio Show presented by the Florida Star newspaper. When we come back, we're going to hear from Northside Coalition's own Mr. Ben Fraser. We'll be right back after these messages. All right, now we're still live on social media. Mr. Fraser, if you just kind of give our viewing audience just a quick snippet of what we're going to be talking about on tonight.
Well, we can talk about a number of subjects. You already got one of my best, and that is trust, transparency, and accountability on the part of law enforcement. But we'll go past that since Mike Sampson and JCAC have already covered that. Just understand this much, that there is, in fact, a problem between the relationship of the Black community and law enforcement. We need to deal with that. In the words of James Baldwin, yes, everything we face, we can't change. But unless you face it, you can't change.
Don't give up all the good stuff, because we got to come back after this break. All right. And now, Julia, call out the name of your book while we're still live on social media.
The Little King. Hashtag The Little King.
All right. And welcome back to Impact Radio Show presented by the Florida Star newspaper. This is your host, Nashon Nicks. We're right here live in the booth with Mr. Ben Fraser, who's a consistent voice of the people. And I want to turn the floor over to him for just a little bit. Mr. Fraser, what's going on? Give the folks a little insight of what's happening around the city, what's happening with accountability.
Well, let's just talk about why we are here. Here's the deal. We're an organization called the Northside Coalition of Jacksonville. We are a civil rights organization. Yes, we are a nonprofit, but we have a mission, and it is our mission to stand up, to speak out against any and all forms of social, racial, and economic injustice. We have to have somebody who stands up around here, because Black people are on trial. And if you're on trial, you need to have a lawyer. And we're not lawyers, but we're your mouthpiece.
Yes, and now, unfortunately, Mr. Fraser, when I was growing up, they would always say, you know, you're innocent until proven guilty, but when it comes to Black men, you're guilty until proven innocent. I don't know if that transcended from your generation to mine. But what are your thoughts on that?
Well, it is most unfortunate that despite the fact that we are only 30% of the population, but we represent a much larger number in terms of the number of arrests. The disparities don't stop there. The number of arrests is one thing. What about the number of Black men either shot or killed in police-involved shootings? A great disparity. There's nobody here in this city, including the sheriff, the mayor, or the state attorney, who can explain to you that number and why it is the way it is. How is it that we represent 31% of the population, but most of the people are getting shot and arrested? There's something wrong with that.
And I want to make sure that we're clear on this. Granted, we have a global issue pertaining to violence, pertaining to Blacks, pertaining to law enforcement, but we're talking about locally. Jacksonville has the highest population or concentration of population of African Americans out of any other city in the state of Florida. So when he's throwing out these percentages of 30+% African Americans and then making such a large percent of incarcerations, and when it comes to police involved shootings, Michael Sampson ran off about 4 different individuals that were shot by police officers. I believe in their cases are still open or under some type of investigation. And that is a challenge in disparity. And we talk about implicit bias and things of that nature. How can we have better interactions? How do we strengthen that, Mr. Fraser? How do we make it better? What's the solution?
Well, we can get to the solution, but first we need to understand the problem. The problem is that there is excessive use of force on the part of JSO.
Mm-hmm.
That is a very real issue. There are patterns here of systemic and institutional racism in policies, practices, and procedures of JSO.
Mm-hmm.
So then let's examine why that is the way it is. Well, who's a police officer here? Well, guess what? Most of the folks who are police officers are white. It's almost like we're living in South Africa. We've got 1,500 sworn police officers, but only 15% of them are Black. I'm talking 300 or less police officers in this town are Black.
Now, Mr. Fraser, you've been around just like I have. We've been in some of the same meetings. And Ms. Vanessa, I'll also open up the floor to you if you have any questions for Mr. Fraser. They say Black folks don't want to be police officers. What's your take on that?
I think that the example that they have given us would lead most Black people not to want to be police officers. Fact of the matter is, when some police officers who are white come into our communities, they come to us as strangers in a strange land.
Mm-hmm.
It is as if they don't even speak our language. It's almost as like they come from a different place. They come to our neighborhoods, our communities as warriors, not as servants who are sworn to serve and to protect. They walk down streets like Myrtle Avenue. They don't know the people. They walk down Martin Street. They don't understand the culture. They don't understand the history. They walk in Picketfield. They don't understand. They don't understand the people in Grant Park. They don't understand the people in Sherwood. They don't understand the people in Washington Heights. They don't understand us. They don't know where we're coming from.
Yes. And now, how do we help broaden their perspective? Because, and like I said, I've learned that exposure broadens perspective. And I do believe in matriculation, even amongst the ranks in JSO officers. I would like to see a larger percentage of African Americans promoted into that zone commander, that sergeant, lieutenant. And I do believe it helps because you see your superior or higher ranking officer looking like the community that you also police, because it also has like some form of shared accountability as well. But how do we help them understand? How do we broaden their horizons and understand, listen, they're citizens just like everybody else. And there's a certain level of dignity that's deserving to a dog. So we cannot allow people to treat animals with a higher degree of respect than they treat our own.
Yes,
citizens.
I understand where you're coming from. I think that there is accountability and credibility to be had on both sides of the fence. Listen, nobody's trying to give Black folks who do wrong and who break laws a free pass. Nobody's down with that. We know that law enforcement is necessary. We also know that too many of us are shooting us up right now. We need to stop that. We need to do a better job at parity. Nobody's trying to give Black folks a free pass. But we are saying that there is systemic racism involved here. The number of stops. People are stopped for walking while Black, stopped for driving while Black, stopped for any number of offenses. But there's still profiling that's going on in this city. People are getting stopped. If you drive out from here right now, I don't care. These people don't know that you're Mr. Nashon Nicks, the youth pastor in Mount Sinai Missionary Baptist Church. You go out there and catch the wrong one, and they're going to slam you, you know what, right up against that car and could do something harmful to you, could take you from out of here despite all your well-meaning good work for the community. That's wrong. People are still being judged by the color of their skin, not the content of their character. That's wrong. These police officers need to come from out of these cars and get to know the people that they are policing. Stop looking at them and looking down at them and talking at them and not with them. We're talking about a sense of community here. We've got to have trust, transparency, and accountability between the Black community and police officers. We can do it.
Yes.
We can do it.
And now,
Mr.
go ahead,
Fraser,
Vanessa.
segue to, the Northside Coalition is always doing some great work in the community. What are some things you guys got coming up that people can be a part of?
Well, what we're doing right now, as most of you already know, is we're involved in a push to change the names of these Confederate schools. And that is a very worthwhile project. Why? Because we don't need to have our students, our children, our most precious resource going to schools named in honor of people who felt that slavery was ordained by God. Somebody actually tell somebody this story, that slavery was ordained. They're going to schools named after people who felt that you were inferior because of the color of your skin. That is insane. We need to take these names down. Why? Because they are an offense to the very dignity and self-esteem of our children. We don't need that to go down like that. They need to take these names off. They need to stop playing games and change the names.
You heard what he said, stop playing games and change the name. Hey,
Yes.
Listen, everybody. Now, I do have to take a break. Just because we're taking a break, we're still live on social media. You're listening to the Impact Radio Show presented by the Florida Star newspaper. This is your host, Nashon Nicks. We'll be right back after these messages. All right, so we're on social media right now. Are we okay? All right. They be tricking me sometimes. They do a 15-second plug. Right. All right. Listen, everybody. It's Nashon Nicks. I got to put a plug out there and a challenge. Listen, I'm also the CEO of the First Coast Leadership Foundation right here in Jacksonville in the urban core. We're trying to raise $20,000 to give inner city youth exposure to science, technology, engineering, art, and mathematics. Listen, please visit our website, fclfjax.org, fclfjax.org. Let's give our youth a fighting chance at success. Julia, I'm giving you a quick moment to shout out your book.
The Little King, hashtag The Little King, available at Amazon, Target, Barnes & Noble, betterworldbooks.com.
Awesome. Awesome. Vanessa, how do they find you?
You can
And
find
welcome
me
back to the Impact Radio Show presented by the Florida Star newspaper. This is your host, Deshaun Nix. Listen, we've had a great broadcast. We started out with Mr. Michael Sampson, Miss Julia Jackson, Miss Vanessa Davis, and we got in the booth the Mr. Ben Fraser. Stop playing them games and change that.
Change the names.
Change the name.
Change them.
Change the name. If it wasn't power in the name, the book puts names in such a high priority. You can call it as you pass the thing. Jehovah meaning God Almighty. There's meaning to that name. Jesus meaning the Lord saves. There's meaning to that name. Michael, who was like God. There's meaning to that name. And it's the same thing when it comes to Confederacy. These were not called Confederate schools during the Confederate Empire.
Right.
And I'm like, what's the man, Johnny Cochran? If Confederate, it must, you got to end it. If it's Confederate, you got to end it. Listen, because right now you can't spend Confederate currency. You can't, there's no such thing as Confederate money.
Right.
And there's no such thing as a Confederate palace. So therefore, it must quit. So quit playing games and change the name.
Tell the people how to reach us. Reach us,
Yes.
please. Northside Coalition of Jacksonville.com. Northside Coalition of Jacksonville.com. And we always say, the Northside Coalition, we're on your side and on the move.
Yes.
Hey.
All right. So, yes. Now, last time, Julia Jackson, call it name of your book, and then I'm turning over to Vanessa for community news and updates.
The Little King, hashtag The Little King.
Thank
All
you
right,
so
guys.
much. All right.
Go to
Vanessa,
Better World
what
Books.
community update. Give it.
Let me just throw in Better World Books. Okay, go find the book on Better World Books. I just went to Emancipation Day. Happy Emancipation Day, Florida. If you don't know what Emancipation Day is, please look it up. We had a great celebration out in Janesville Johnson Park with Jacoby Pittman and the Friends of Hemming Park. Excellent artists, excellent people throughout the day. It was a hoot. We just heard about Red Day coming up on Saturday, so please give that a look. Find the JCAC, Jacksonville Community Action Committee. I will also be at my uncle's spot, the Voussoir. We're celebrating my uncle Ernest, his birthday on Sunday. And next week, Thursday, a friend of mine is doing a canvas through the Newtown area. So if you're looking for more information on how to get involved with that, and look for me, Anthony Brown is his name, and he's also a member of the NAACP local chapter.
So call out Anthony's event one more time for me.
Anthony
That's my
Brown.
cousin, Anthony Brown. What? Give me
Yes, he's doing a walk. He's doing a community walk
the event that's coming up. The event that he has coming up
on the 27th. Yeah, he's doing a community walk on the 27th around EWC. So if you're looking for more information on that, obviously you can probably reach out to Nashon, myself, or if you know Anthony personally, you can reach out to him because he's looking for some canvassers to get out into the community and help.
All right. Thank you so much, Ms. Vanessa. Mr. Fraser, I'll give you 15 seconds.
Hey, listen, I just want to say one thing. There's a lot of strife, racial strife, division, and violence out there. But I'm here to offer you a word of faith. I think that it's time for Jacksonville to move into the sunlight of a brand new day and to become a city that is too busy to hate. Let's move forward in peace and love.
Amen to that. Listen, I
said
do want to offer a special condolences to the Gaffney family, council member, the Honorable Reggie Gaffney, Granny Louise Gaffney. I was talking to Junior today, and we offer our sincere condolences on behalf of the Florida Star newspaper, Impact Radio Show, and myself. So we do want to make sure that we offer our condolences to the family as a whole and anyone that may be grieving at this time. As we close out the show, as I typically say, knowledge is power. Knowledge of self is powerful. Knowledge of God is the source of all power. Please get up, get out, and support the Florida Star newspaper. I love you. God bless you, and good night.
Good night.
good night.
Good night.